father gave his very best to me. By honoring his choice to end his life with medical assistance, I feel I was giving back that gift.
Medical assistance in dying is the ability for an individual to choose when they will pass. There are several criteria as to what you need to meet in order to meet the requirements for medical assistance in dying. It requires 2 independent physicians to assess whether or not you meet those criteria. But it allows individuals who are in a state of suffering, essentially, to be able to decide when it is their time, rather than wait for the time to come or to go through a hospice process, which is similar, but often takes a little bit longer. To us, really, it's about choice, and it's about dignity. And I always say to people that, you know, when people are in these positions, the one thing that they have the least of is control. And what this gives people is the ability to make, you know, a few last decisions for themselves around choices of how they will go. So it's a very dignified process, and I think in Canada we're very blessed that you know, the Supreme Court was able to grant it.
End-of-life choices, you know, matter for every single one of us, and MAID is just one of them. MAID is a profoundly personal decision. I've yet to meet someone that said, oh, I just woke up and decided to have MAID. It takes individuals a very long time to come to terms, and that just needs to be respected and that needs to be honored. It's not right or wrong, but it's just as simple as respecting that individual's choice. Our opinion does not matter. It's about that specific person. And again, I think the work that happens with our social worker is key in helping our families come to terms, you know, to accept that decision the individual is making.
We were sad and scared, but mostly we were relieved. There was immense love and respect in this decision. We knew it was absolutely the right one for him.
I try to meet the individual ahead of time, face to face if possible, so that I'm a familiar face to not only to them but also to their family when they come to this site full of strangers to have this very scary thing done. So I want to be that piece of constant that is kind of the very aspect in the basis of the person-centered care, is having that consistent support. And then when I'm there, I begin to just ask them, you know, what can we do to make this comfortable? Are there any cultural traditions that we need to be honoring? And then I really just get into those 5 senses that the individual has, and let me learn a bit about you and what can we do to bring that to life. So I'll ask specifically about what are their favorite foods, what kind of taste can we bring in, and what kind of smells do they love and what kind of smells do they hate. Opening all the windows and just exposing as much sunlight into the room as humanly possible so that that feel is there visually. And then also we have a Bluetooth speaker that we can make, you know, sounds of nature come through, or play their favorite songs for them, so that those things can provide comfort. And families don't normally notice it until it's like at that exact time of the provision, and then all of a sudden they're like, did you hear that? Wow, it really feels like we're outside all of a sudden. It's like, yes, that's what we're going for here. That's the whole, we want that experience to be for everybody.
So it's very case specific, depending on what will be meaningful to that individual. One situation that stands out to me was earlier this year, and we had an individual come to us that we knew loved nature and loved being outdoors and loved plants. And ironically, it was in the spring when we were starting to bring fresh plants in for our residents anyways. We were starting to garden for the season. And so not only were we able to play some calming and soothing video clips of forests and walks and trying to give that individual that sensory experience, but also bringing in fresh flowers, so engaging, you know, smell, and really just trying to make that an environment where they felt at peace and at ease.
We've had residents that loved a certain team, like Calgary Flames and other teams, where we decorated the room to give that sense of comfort and identity.
We really do our best to engage all 5 senses when we are preparing for one of these provisions to occur. So we look at every opportunity that we can to give this patient the best experience that they can in their final moments. So one opportunity for the hospitality team is with providing food for these patients, and we do our best to match whatever their favorite foods are. We've had some really interesting requests. We've had everything from Kentucky Fried Chicken to smoked brisket with mac and cheese. We've had requests for elk sausage. We've even had things like butterscotch and ripple ice cream, so very, very specific flavors of items. But we also know that giving these patients that last chance to taste that favorite food that they absolutely love gives them that bit of joy as well as that sense of independence as they move towards their final hour.
Thank you for providing a dignified place for his last wishes to be carried out. His passing was a great comfort to all of us. Thank you also for feeding us. You were right. We did need to eat.
I'm so proud of this initiative. I'm proud that AgeCare not only made the decision to do it, but made the decision to excel in it in every way. We just don't accept transfers. We go out to people's homes and meet them and meet with their families. We walk through the process. We complete a death story and ask them what they want this to look like. I think that our team, our social workers, our directors of care, our general managers go out of their way to make things the way that the resident would want them to be. Whatever that individual's wish is, we make it happen. Like anything that we do in aged care, I think we try and exceed the expectations. And particularly here, I think we were really clear that we did not want individuals and their families coming to our facilities for the first time to die without knowing anybody. And so that social worker is really the thread throughout that whole process, who meets the individual either at the hospice or at their house, and then stays with them right until the time that they've passed, and then stays with the family, and then closes the provision off.
It's an honor. It's not every day that you get an opportunity to play such an important part in an individual's life and make it so incredibly purposeful and meaningful to them. As an organization, it's something that we stand by as one of our values anyway, is bringing that quality of life regardless of who it is that we're talking about. We talk about our residents, we talk about our staff, we talk about our families, and we consider these folks that come in through MAID as a member of our extended family until their time comes to an end. So we treasure these opportunities really, and it makes me so proud to see everybody step up and say, I want to be a part of this.
She got to say all her last words and all her goodbyes. It was incredibly gentle and merciful. It was a beautiful way for her to go.